All right, my G's. Well. Slurpty diddly do. Slurpty derp, my G's. I hope everything is going well. Let's just check that we are live and everything is good. Let me know in the chat as well if everything's fine, if you can hear me, see me, and if you can hear that music as well, then that's wonderful. So everything sounding good, your end? Loud and clear. All right. Sweet as. Let's get started then. So today's a little bit different because we're doing a feedback live stream, but it's a COLLAB only live stream. And so that's why we have a few less tracks today than usual. After this COLLAB live stream, we'll be going back to our normal feedback live streams where anyone can submit any of their own tracks, new or old. They can submit collabs as well. And we'll go straight into our next live stream to keep the ball rolling already in February, like the second part of February. So, yeah, stay tuned for that one. But today we have 4 collabs to listen through, so I'm really excited because I haven't heard any of these yet. We've got a Midlife Crisis with Juki, Killer. We've got a Molex Endor and Chameleon, Ethereal Wasteland. Then we've got a Midlife Crisis and Splinters, Do You Understand? And then we've got a Benny Babylon and Juki with Smoke. All right, so none of us have listened to the tracks yet, obviously, apart from the people that made them. I certainly haven't listened, so we're going to listen through all 4. I'm going to give a little bit of feedback on each one, and I'm sure you guys in the chat will help to give some constructive feedback too. And yeah, let's get started then, shall we? Without further ado, we're going to kick things off with Killer by Midlife Crisis and Juki. Let's go. Shots fired. Shots fired. Well, thank you very much. That was Midlife Crisis and Juki with Killer Killer. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. I see some of you guys are drinking some sort of mushroom coffee. Is that something I need to try as well? I've got a decaf at the moment here, but I also agree the crash off normal coffee can be quite bad, especially when you drink loads of it. Hi Artifact, hi Plow, hello Flicky Sound, hello MPC Logic, welcome. Hello Chris as well. Plow says the intros may be too long. There was a drop chance for a drop sooner. Mike's been practicing drum beats to Juki's last track. That's great. Feels a little repetitive, says DJ Victor. I'll be posting the original track of this one on my SoundCloud later, says Juki. Anyway, yeah, I like it. I really liked the drop. The mix down was really nice. It could be a little bit too repetitive. I would agree with that to some extent. I think the main thing for me in terms of like the structure was that I think it could use a more clear structure, like a more clear defined 16 bar blocks. Like to me, especially that this was mainly the case in the intro, but yeah, on the intro, I never quite knew where I was. Like, obviously I can see the waveform, but if I couldn't have seen the waveform, like I never really knew where I was like in the track. You know, it wasn't like obvious kind of sections. And so that can be quite helpful for the listener to make the sections more obvious. And some elements I felt like sort of came in kind of here and there, like randomly throughout the track. Like there was good variation with how the elements changed, but it was kind of like certain elements would come in just at like a random point and didn't like contribute to creating a more obvious like follow along structure, which would have been nicer for me, you know? So that's my main sort of feedback, would be to be a bit more intentional with the positioning of some of the elements to create more of a like clear like 16 bar block structure would be quite nice. But I was kind of expecting the drop would be quite powerful with especially with me knowing that Juki's tracks generally seem to hit pretty hard, so and that didn't let me down there. So Yeah, I really enjoyed the actual drop, and I enjoyed like the whole mix down as well. Like the mix down was actually pretty good. Um, it was just like the sort of structure that could have been a bit tighter. You could probably shorten it all as well, and like refine the kind of um sections and shorten things. But I do think that the mix down was really great. So that's my sort of 2 cents for that one. Again, I could probably go more in depth and break down some more things, maybe some extra little mix down tips. But I think that's my sort of general advice. General advice. So yeah, we won't dwell on it for too long. But yeah, really, really nice. Killer. Nice gunshot samples as well. Keeping up the gangster vibe there. And welcome, Kerry. Great to see you, sir. How are things over in the US? Morning, Mr. Artifact. Morning, chat. Hello, Trippy Technology Music. Good to see you. Didn't evolve enough, says Trippy. Reckon could have had it always growing. Lol. Just my 2 cents. That's fine. That's a good piece of 2 cents. Some change in the vocal performance. And Chris says good stuff. Yeah. So you got your tips all round, but you got mostly tips with sort of arrangement things, really. No one's pulled you up on mixdown stuff. You're all quite good there. Anyway, yeah. Are you guys going to keep it as it is and move on, or are you guys going to revisit it? Let us know what you end up doing with it. And let's move on then. So I'm not sure if Ian is here with us in the chat right now, but hopefully he is. And hopefully Molex Endor as well. I always struggle to say that name. Molex Endor. So this is a very interesting collaboration as well, because I've known Ian for a while, Molex Endor less so. So I want to sort of see how much of Ian's sound I can detect through the music and what is the new part. Anyway, I'm interested to see what this one's saying. So let's move on with Ethereal Wasteland. Go.
Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready?
All right, good stuff, good stuff. Molex Endor, who is in the chat at the moment, but I don't think Chameleon is in the chat right now. Or if he is, he's being shy. But yeah, this was a very high energy. I would say that it was a little bit too many ideas for one song. I think a lot of people agreed with that as well. By the way, I just wanted to say as well, like, big ups to all you guys for doing the collabs as well, because I was a bit strict on making sure like for this one, it's only collabs are accepted, right? And collabs are not easy to do, as you probably know from doing them. Like, I think it's a real challenge, you know? I think it helps you grow because you learn even like technical things on how to actually collab, like how to export and send stuff. Like, you learn all that stuff. You learn how to like work with people musically, with like different people's musical ideas like on the line. So that's difficult as well. Then you have to like somehow come together to create a song that feels like one cohesive song and not like a bunch of ideas. And that is really, really hard to do as well, you know? So, but I was hoping that through the collab challenge that you guys would learn through it and pick up some stuff from each other. You know, even if the final collab like it isn't, you know, like the best track that you've ever made, like you still would have like learned a lot through the process. Anyway, I say that to say this: it's very difficult to get a very cohesive collab, you know, and this one particularly feels like there's not as much cohesion. Like, there's a few different ideas kind of fighting for you know, the concept almost, you know. And I do feel like there were a few parts in this track where the harmonies didn't quite sync up, like in the elements, as someone mentioned in the chat as well. Some keys fell off in the intro. Yeah, there were a few parts where it's a very dissonant sounding track. So that's kind of the vibe you're going for. But at parts, it felt like there was too much dissonance at once, you know? It felt like there was a bit of a dissonance overload between the sort of, you know, the harmonies between, like, especially the bass. I think a lot of those like higher pitch leads and like the synths and stuff like kind of set the tone for what the key should kind of be. And then I think the bass underneath was like struggling to sync up like harmonically with the sort of leads at points, you know. The second drop over here, where it went into that 4/4 kind of thing, for me that was actually the cleanest part of the track, like musically speaking. That was where like all of the elements kind of worked together. But yeah, parts of the intro and like parts during the first drop, I feel like there was a bit of a disassociation between like especially between like the basses and the leads. Like the sort of notations didn't quite line up quite nicely enough, you know. So yeah. Loads of ideas, loads of energy. Still, for me, would need some notation changes, or maybe even sacrificing a couple of sounds to like refine it all more. You know, that's kind of my main advice for that. Juki says, feels like a few conflicting ideas in the drop, could do with focusing on less elements. Yep. Hello, DJ Ride. Welcome. Thanks for joining us as well. 4/4 with an amen. Interesting. Some crazy drum patterns. My brain is all over the place, says Kerry. This this morning, but this track is keeping my interest. So many changes. Yes, it definitely had a lot going on. I think you could do with a better bass match. Yes, I agree with that one. I think the drums are creative and should definitely reuse and see what else you can come up with. Yeah, the drums were nice though, to be honest. Yeah, I struggled with the collabs, says Narlo. It's the first one I've done. Had a lot of fun with it. Good stuff, Chris. Hopefully won't be the last. A little bit of swing on the perk does wonders. Give it hang time, not just locked on the grid. My first go at collab, says Juki, definitely had its own challenges. My first collab ended up being my first. Good stuff, Trippy. All right, right. So yeah, great track, lots of ideas, good energy, some cool sections in there. But yeah, I'd be a little more strict. This is difficult to do during a collab, but a bit stricter with the choice of elements and how they are actually working with one another. You know, so there were a few parts, as I already mentioned, where I don't think the sort of elements gelled together that well. Maybe with the notation changed, they could work better. But yeah, a couple of like conflicting ideas that didn't quite sit right for me, you know, went a little bit too overly dissonant. But on the whole, very, very nice. And as I mentioned, really clean second drop. I like that a lot. Mix down wise as well, it's pretty good. The kick drum was coming through really, really cleanly. Again, I think because there was just a lot of stuff going on, that you probably could still have made a bit more space in the mix, just in like different areas. But on the whole, it was like fairly well balanced. Perhaps could have had a bit more low end shining through in certain sections as well. But yeah, I could really go in depth and break it down for you guys, but we've got to move on. So let's crack on with Do You Understand by Splinters and Midlife Crisis. So I don't know if Splinters is Rob is here in the chat right now, or if he's rocking along the canals on his houseboat. Anyway, I'm excited to hear what this one's got going on. So let's crack on with Do You Understand?
You understand me? You understand me?
Is that me slapping at the end? Did you resample me, or is it one of yours? If so, then I want at least 50% on the royalties. No, I'm just kidding. That was really, really cool. Yeah, that was a real vibe. I really, really loved that one. There was the bass line was absolutely epic. It took me right back to the golden years of drum and bass. That was the golden years of DNB bass line. Kerry said, and we must listen to what Kerry says because he is the elder. He is the elder wizard. This is fun. Ride says, sick intro. That drop is fire, absolutely disgusting. The drop is dangerous with 2 fire emojis. That is more than 1 fire emoji, mind you. Vibes. Kind of a rhythmic interchange between the hats and the bass line. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Well, listen back to the first 2 tracks. Oh, yeah, okay. Just want a bit more punch on the drums, but nice drop. Only thing I'd add, says Juki, is some more fills to make me miss that bass. Juki is all about that bass, no treble. That was cheesy, wasn't it? Setting up some great drops there, mate, says Trippy. Nice. Loving this, says Chris. Like the filter movements, good variations, keeping the interest up. Reminds me a bit of what Cybernetica used to do, says Vegan Kebab. I'd quite like a vegan kebab tonight, actually. Love the evolving acid bass. Yeah, that part at the end, I felt like it went on for a bit too long for me, but it was good though. That when it at the beginning part, slapped it up. Ed Rush, optical squelchy bass, really cool atmosphere, nice track. Not sure about the mixing and mastering, but it's a really good track. Optical. Yeah, the mixing and mastering could still be a little bit better. I think there were some parts... Well, you've done a really great job on the drop, I must say. That was really, really nice. Yeah, I just really enjoyed that. Maybe the mix could be slightly better, but overall it had such a great vibe that it sort of carried it through. For me, the other listening points were the sort of intro, and especially this sort of part where it gets to the build-up. It felt a little bit dry in sections, like sort of just drum sample heavy without enough like interest musically. And some other parts of the track as well, where you have these more synths and atmospheres and arps and other elements aside from the bass. I feel like they sometimes didn't cut through enough. Like there are a couple of leads in this part that definitely cut through well, but there's some other parts where I feel like the dynamics of the mixdown could have like shifted a little bit more to like let some of those atmospheres through, let some of those other ideas come to the surface. What you've basically, like, to be brutally honest with you, is I really like, I love the drop section so much, but I don't think the other parts around it do it justice yet, you know? I almost feel like that drop section is like really, really sick, like absolutely epic, and needs to be like expanded upon better still, you know? Yeah, I feel like the intro and the other parts of the mixdown, like around that drop, like they didn't quite keep up the same level of awesomeness. Is that a technical term? Yes, it is. So you had such an awesome drop, and the other parts were, you know, they cohesively they work with it, but they just don't have like an extra. I feel like the mix doesn't like really super shine in the other parts yet, you know, and I feel like it's a combination of the other elements that you've used, and also the fact that they're not quite mixed in perfectly yet. I think it's kind of a little bit of both, you know, maybe with a bit more tighter mixing for the extra elements to cut through a little nicer, and the dynamics of the mix to kind of shift in parts then it could be really good, you know. But yeah, I feel like it still needs that like extra lift in the other parts of the track still somehow, you know. But that's really me being picky, okay? Because I really absolutely loved the drop, like it was so good. So don't take what I say with a grain of salt, with a pinch of salt, because I'm just being very picky here, on what was otherwise a really, really epic track. I really liked it. Yeah, the end part could have been a little bit shorter too for me. But yeah, that's my overall very generic advice for that one. All right, so great. Really, really enjoyed that though. That honestly really took me back. The bass riff was sick, like super, super sick. Like I loved it. It was really, really cool. Okay. Well, this has gone very quickly for our feedback live streams, because normally we have sort of anywhere between 7 and 15 tracks, you know, but as it was a collab only thing, of course, we've got a few we're a few tracks short this month, but yeah, next month we'll have a much bigger stream again. It'll be, I imagine the February stream will be quite busy, so get involved with that one. But yeah, we'll move on to our last one. Smoke by Benny Babylon and Juki. This is Juki and Midlife Crisis both had a couple of tracks in this one, so that's cool. And this is Juki's second one. Smoke. Let's go. That was so good. That was so good. But you know, like I really wish I could have heard this before you sent it in. But what would make this mix down go up from like a 7.5 to like a 9.5 would take you like 3 seconds, and it would just be to turn the snare down like 4 dB or something. Like, 'cause it's proper up there, it's proper bright, like it's much louder than anything else. Ah, it's so good. It's just it like if that snare was down lower, you might have to bring it down 5 dB because it's super loud and saturated anyway. So when snares are like that, you often have to bring the volume down more than you realize for it to actually make a sonic difference. But it will be so perfect once you've done that. Like it was so, the rest of it was like the whole track was so good. It's just the snare was, you just turned the snare up like 5 dB too much. You know, like this, the whole rest of the track was banging. You're gonna have to repost that in the Discord like ASAP. Like you'll literally spend 3 minutes, adjust less. You'll spend 30 seconds bringing the snare down, and then you'll bounce it out again, and it'll like go from like 7.5 to like 9.5 on like mixed down quality. Like when you bring the, I know I keep harping on about it. When you brought that snare down, you'll find you'll even have more headroom in the track. You'll be able to push the whole thing more, and you'll get even more low end power as well. So it's such an easy fix. There's like literally like one fix, and it'll like transform the whole track. You know? Yeah. I think like the snare should be just a little bit behind the kick drum, like just a little bit lower. Like think about it like the queen on the chessboard. Like the kick is the king, and the queen is just like next to it, just a little bit behind, you know? That's where you want to aim for. Like, you can't do this using metering. You have to do it using your ears. You know, you have to think, you have to judge the depth of the snare by ear and have it like a little bit lower. And then the whole track, as I mentioned, you'll get more headroom. You can boost the whole thing even more probably. And everything will sound in place. You know, it just sounds out of place. You might want to do this on the group as well. I noticed because you got a bunch of different snares running through. It's in the intro, in the build up. That's where I first thought, holy cow, my ears are bleeding from that snare. And then as you went on, there were some sections where you have this snare in the halftime part where it's more like reverbed and, you know, a bit longer, like longer tail. Like that one wasn't as loud, but I would probably try just having all the snares like in a group and just turning the whole group down 5 dB or something, or 4 or 5 dB. So I'd probably do it on everything first, and then if that sort of halftime one gets a bit too quiet, then maybe you can bring that one up like a little bit, but the rest of them all need to come down. That's all I could really think about for the track, usually, because it really stuck out so much. But I could tell that the whole track was going to sound, you know, fantastic once you've done that, you know? So easy fix. And I can tell that mix down wise, then it would probably be like the best one of the four, like in terms of mix down quality, I think, because there's a lot of space in it and there's a lot of dynamics, and the sound design's really good, and you've got a lot of space in the groove. And so like there is quite clean, you know, mix down wise. Once that's fixed, it'll be super clean. Yeah, I really like the Splinters one. It'd be interesting to see how it sort of stacks up against the Splinters and Midlife Crisis tune once you fix that, because both of those gave me like a real, you know, a real like powerful vibe, you know, so I really like both of those. Yeah, just from personal taste, you know, nothing wrong with the first two. It's just like for my taste, like I love the bass groove on Do You Understand. It was epic, and I really like the I really like the whole space and the dynamics in this track as well. So yeah, please do that and post it in the Discord. Yeah. Anyway, that was cool, guys. Yeah, shame we only had 4 tracks today, because I've got enough energy in me to listen to a few more. But that's absolutely fine. I thank you guys very much for actually taking part in my collab live stream and playing by the rules. And yeah, so big ups to you guys for submitting tracks today. I hope you get some feedback. I mean, I hope the feedback was a little bit helpful as well for you, even if it's sort of more of a just fast, generic advice kind of thing. And hopefully the chat helps you a little bit as well. Juki's going to tweak the snare now. NPC said, very nice work. Everything had its own lane and was crystal clear. Vegan Kebab, like the groove and ideas. I would welcome in more movement and drum hit variations. Mix up the snares. I think the snares were mixed up quite a lot already, to be honest. But it's just the volume of them. That was the only thing. There was definitely a lot of different snare ideas in there already. Yeah, you'll fix that quickly, Juki. The bass was like a gritty swamp texture. No problem. Guys, it's my pleasure to listen through to your tracks. Yeah, shorter than usual today, but a lot of fun. So that's it really, guys, for today. We will continue on strong in February with a normal feedback live stream, as I mentioned. There'll be many more submissions for that one, I don't doubt. So come along and join us in Discord if you haven't already, and get involved in that one for the second part of Feb. And I'm sure there's loads of producers in the Discord already who are ready to submit a new solo track for the next live stream. So we won't wait too long for the next one. We'll do it in 3 or 4 weeks, 4 weeks or so maybe. Or yeah, end of February we'll do it. So can we do it early Feb? We can probably do it like the middle to late Feb, because there's a few other things I've got to promote in the first part of February, like some label stuff, including your track. But we'll do the next, and I want to give a bit more chance for some other people to get involved, and a bit more chance to promote the next feedback stream as well. So give it a few weeks, but we'll definitely do it in the second part of February. Can you give tips on and advice on other style of electronic? Yeah, of course. Yes, Orvik, definitely. We welcome other genres as well. We're mostly DNB here, of course, but we like to break things up with other genres as well. So you're more than welcome. Valentine's special. Is it Valentine's Day? When is Valentine's Day? Damn it, I don't even know. Ride, we're looking forward to your next track on the next stream as well. Yeah, it won't be too long till the next one. I remind you guys as well that my January preset sale for my presets and sample packs, all 30% off, that ends tonight. So if you want any extra sounds, then you can check out the link in this in the chat here or in the video description. Yeah, and anyone else who's not on Patreon yet, if you want to come and join us and join in on all the Discord action and get involved in our live streams, you're more than welcome to do so. And it supports me and supports the channel as well, of course. And stay tuned also for Narlo's release on the label coming in the early part of February. So looking forward to getting his track out there. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the previous releases as well, from Sublumen kicking off the year and Sozin at the end of last year. I hope you guys all had a great holiday as well and have started off your year well. And Happy New Year to everyone, if that's still a thing that I can say at this part of the year. So yeah, thanks for joining today. More videos coming up soon. Next feedback live stream, second part of February. Preset sale ending today. Label stuff coming in a couple of weeks. What more can I say, really? Thanks for all your support on the channel. My Discord is accessible via Patreon. There's a little entry fee. It helps to keep out the riffraff. And you'll get a lot of value from it, from the people in there and all of the group events that we're going to be doing this year as well. And yeah, the links are in the video. You just access it via my Patreon. It's easy for me to run it through there because yeah, it's all kind of automatic. People can join and leave as they wish, you know. So okie dokie, my friends. Have a great weekend as well. And I'm just keep clapping. It's my YouTube personality. It's like the clap monster. Yeah, have a great weekend, everyone. And much love. Don't do anything I wouldn't. And we'll see you guys on the next feedback live stream in Feb as well. All right. Much love, everyone. Thanks for all your submissions today. It was a lot of fun. And let us know what you do with those tracks as well in the Discord at some point. And if you guys ever like self-release them or whatever, like tag me on social media or whatever. I'll reshare them all. All right. Much love then. See you guys soon. Peace out.